Hello everyone and welcome to an impromptu video in the world of Mark 1 focuses. Mr. Ink needs some new headlights and I have changed one of the headlights today and the results are ridiculous. I've always been aware the headlights on this car have been pretty average at best. I didn't even bother trying to wet sand them, they were that bad. I really just would recommend replacement. It's best in the long run for a couple of different reasons. Going to Chepstow, the latest Mark 1 meet, and I've seen so many Mark 1s with so many good headlights. Some of them are the original Visteon headlights, and they've obviously been out of the sunlight because sunlight causes crazing and micro cracking. This driver's one is terrible. I have just replaced the front passenger one, the near side one, and it looks absolutely amazing. And the new headlights are from Depot, the manufacturer of the fog lights, believe it or not. There's a few manufacturers, but Depot are the best ones because the fog lights on this car are from 50 Shades, and I fitted them to 50 Shades in 2016 because the originals were so creamy it was untrue. The original fog lights go really creamy. They are poor. The aftermarket ones, this is one of those rare things where an aftermarket part is better than the original, because the aftermarket ones do not mist up, they do not go creamy. And not being funny, they've been around for a long time. The headlights, I think Depot only started making these a few years ago. The only headlights you could really get several years ago are aftermarket ones, and ones for modifications like Angel lights, which I don't like. I really don't like them. Each their own on that one, but they just don't like, they look really depressing on a Mark 1. Even on a black Mark 1, they just look a bit if you want a car with Angel headlights, I suggest you buy a more modern car. It just doesn't suit this. The Xenons look cool on a Mark 1, but they're very rare. And you can convert halogens to Xenons, but I'll warn you, there's a lot of wiring, and you've got to do some piggybacking with the wiring and the plugs. But halogens look great on a Mark 1 if the headlights look good. So I'm going to show you in. So this is the driver's one, which I have not changed. The original Visteon, they've done their time, but sunlight has got to it. This is what we call crazing, okay? Because this is plastic, the sunlight has obviously got to it, and the plastic has started to break apart. It's not going to fall apart, but this is the start of it, and you get this frost effect. And that, two different reasons. It looks awful, and the projection of the beam is terrible. I'll come to that in a second. They also go very yellow on the inside sometimes. They can fog up and cause no issues. I had that with 50 Shades years ago. No real effect on going yellow. But I had crazing on them. They weren't clear. And look at that. It's just awful. And then it is really like looking through your glasses when it's, your glasses need a bit of a wipe. And then you've got these, absolutely amazing. Depot, as it says there, I am amazed. They are a perfect copy of the original Visteons. In fact, I've got a feeling somebody must have stolen the original plans for these because they're so good. I'm not being funny. How would they made such a good copy by not having the plans or not have? I think a lot of the tooling might have been shared. The molds, yeah, it's perfect. You can clearly see what I love when you can see a Mark 1 light like this, which you can't do on the other side, is the design of it. I think, well, each their own on this one, but I'm always favoured of the facelifts. I think the facelift lights look more integral to the design language, instead of having this indicator randomly slapped here like they didn't know. For me, that indicator slapped there, they didn't know where to put it, so they just threw it on the car. I think it's probably one of those features they really should have thought about. The Mark 1 should, in my opinion, have had that and this design from the outset, because it just looks more integral. I love how you can actually see more clearly this curve here, and it comes from the grille around here. They didn't need to do that, but they certainly did to continue these lines from the bonnet onwards. And then you've got one lens here for the main beam, and then another chrome ring here for the main dip beam projector with the umbrella, is the projector. So the umbrella, the light would reflect against the reflector, and then it bounces back against the backside, and that's what gets your beam. And I'm going to show you a picture now. This was a picture just after I had adjusted these lights. You've got 2 adjustments on the headlight, one here and one here. If I show you the picture, as you can see on the picture, the beam for the new headlight is very different to the beam on this rubbish driver side. And I have this opinion, and the proof is there, that your projections, even though I think it has passed a legitimate MOT, I would be very funny as an MOT tester on the sort of beam patterns that would be produced. There is a clear difference. In fact, it looks like the passenger one, the new one, is not as clear, but that's the way it's supposed to be. What's happened is, I suspect, because of all this crazing in front of the projector, sorry, it's not a projector, it's a reflector, excuse me. Mark 1's only, xenon lights are the projector lamps, by the way. The halogen lamps are reflectors, which is why you never fit LEDs to these. I am sorry, but those people who fit LEDs to Mark 1 halogen lights, please convert back to halogen. Just buy some Osram night breakers, because they're as white as they can be for halogens. Okay, I personally don't go in for that. They don't tend to last very long, because they produce more output, and therefore they burn their filaments quicker. So I'd rather go with candlesticks, to be honest. They're decent candlesticks, but I think they're Lucas bulbs, and they're quite cheap, but they're quite good. And when the project, the headlamp is a lovely look. I mean, that is just wonderful, isn't it? But this crazing really affects the output of the light, and it makes it look foggy in some respects, like a blotch, whereas this is more directional. So no LEDs, please. They don't really sit very nicely. They never reflect anywhere near as good as the halogens. I know there's a lot of forums about, which angle, because obviously LEDs point in a single direction, and a lot of manufacturers are trying to place the LEDs along that stick in a certain place to get halogen-like reflection. There are some that are close to it, but they never quite are. In fact, I think on MOTs, it will be a fail if they find that you fitted LEDs to a halogen lamp. Although I think a lot of cars still get away with it. Sorry, don't do that, please. Anyway, you're not getting any benefits from it, really, apart from the looks. And if you want a car with white headlamps, well, convert to xenons. Of course, nobody wants to do that because it's quite a difficult thing to do. I'm going to leave you be. So my recommendation is depot lights. That cost me £68. I've got one coming for this side imminently. I can't wait to fit it. It's going to make such a difference. You take care, guys. I shall see you very soon. And, wow, we'll be looking a lot better. Bye-bye.